So what is an array? Array is a structure for storing and retrieving data. So we have one dimension, two dimension, and three-dimensional array. The fundamental array class is called ND-array in NumPy. It represents an n-dimensional array. The basic rules: all the elements of the array must be of same type of data. The ones created, the total size of array cannot be changed, means it is not dynamic. Each and every row of a two-dimensional array must have the same number of columns. It can be, the shape must be rectangular. But this is not applicable in Java, and in Java we can have variable column arrays. In two-dimensional array in Java, the first row can have 2 columns, second row can have 3 columns, and third row can have 1 column, and so on. So look at the example. A is equal to np dot array 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we are initializing an array. The elements of an array can be accessed in various ways. We use the term index within square brackets. Look at that, a of 0 is the first element, a of 1 is your second element, and so on. The first element of an array is accessed using index 0. The array is mutable. Once size is fixed, look at this example. A of 0 is equal to 10. A of 0 is the first element. The first element is assigned with 10. Even we can use Python slicing notation here. A colon 3, 3 elements, the first 3 elements. Look at the example. B is equal to A 3 colon. 3 colon means from that specified position the remaining element. The remaining elements are 4, 5, 6. And now what I am doing, B of 0 is equal to 40. B of 0 is equal to 40. Look at that A now. The slice indexing of a list copies the elements into a new list. But the slicing an array returns a view, an object that refers to the data in the original array. The original array can be muted using the view. So look at this notation now. The B is with 4, 5, 6, and B of 0 is 40. So B of 0 is your first element, that is 4 is replaced with 40. And two-dimensional array can be initialized from nested Python sequences. Look at this notation. np.array 1 2 3 4 is your first row, 5 6 7 8 is your second row, and 9 10 11 12 is your third row. So in NumPy, a dimension of an array is referred to as an axis. The difference between an array and list of lists is an element of an array can be accessed by specifying an index along each axis within a single set of square brackets separated by commas. So look at that, the element 8 is in row 1 and column 3. That is 1 comma 3. As we know, the index starts with 0. So 1 comma 3 is nothing but second row, fourth column. So we have array attributes ndim, shape, size and dtype. Ndim, the number of dimensions of an array. Look at that a.ndim, we have 2. The shape of an array is a tuple of non-negative integers that specify the number of elements along each dimension. Look at that a dot shape, number of rows and number of columns, 3 rows and 4 columns. Look at that ln of a dot shape is equal to a dot and dim. If you compare, it is true. The length of a dot shape is 2 and the number of dimensions also 2. Look at that a dot size, the total number of elements in an array. Three rows, 4 columns, 12 elements. Look at that import math a dot size is equal to math dot pord product a dot shape. What is a dot shape? 3 4. The product of 3 4 is 12 and the size is 12 and 12 equal to 12 is true. So all the arrays are homogeneous. They contain elements of only one data type. And the data type is recorded in dtype attribute. Look at that a dot dtype. Dtype is int 64. Int for integer and 64 for 64-bit notation. You can create the basic array in different ways. Look at that np dot zeros of 2. np dot zeros of 2. Create an array filled with zeros. You want to fill with ones, np dot ones. The function empty creates an array, an empty array. Look at this. It creates an array whose initial content is random. Look at that np.empty within brackets 2. So we have some random numbers. It may vary depending on the state of the memory. Even I can use array with a range of elements. Look at that np.arrange 4 0 to 3. We can use the intervals also, that is the first number, last number and the step size. Look at the 2 comma 9. 2 comma 9 is nothing but 2 to 8 comma 2, that is step size 2. So 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 2 8. So we have len space to create an array with values that are spaced linearly in a specified interval. Look at that 0 comma 10 comma num is equal to 5. Can you see that? 0, 2.5, 5, 7.5 and 10 and so on. The default data type is floating point. You can explicitly specify which data type you want to use using dtype.